3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
So, welcome to the D&D Worlds. This is going to be a one-player cleric run. Thanks to donations, we're playing blue cleric rather than white cleric. Big difference between blue and white. I mean, they have the same attacks and everything. Well, outside of the fact that he has a lovely batch of hair, the other big difference is magic spells. Magic spells they play a pretty big role in this game, and there are a few spell differences between blue and white. The white cleric has a spell called Earthquake, which can be occasionally fairly useful, but this cleric has a much cooler spell called Stick to Snake. So good job, donators.
Unfortunately, Sticks to Snakes is not particularly useful.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, it's not.
But so the big thing with the cleric as opposed to other characters is that you have 2 spells to increase your own damage, one of which is striking and another of which is bless. So you'll pretty regularly be seeing him cast those spells just to up his damage and clear mobs quickly. These first few screens just have mainly a lot of goblins, not a lot of difficult enemies, but a lot of enemies to deal with. So getting them to group up correctly is a big part of getting through this section quickly.
Oh.
Then we get the owlbears, everybody's favorite D&D enemy.
Yes. He just picked up the bottle of a Freedy. This will come up a little bit later. It's something that can wipe out enemies on the screen.
Those blue bottles he's grabbing are little health potions that will heal him, so he can save his cure spells because some of his spells are actually linked to other spells. So depending on which ones he casts, he gets less casts of other spells. Right. It doesn't play too much of an important role unless he's going for certain backup strats.
Yes. Yes.
That goblin hang.
Okay, he's looking for a very specific safe spot here. There we go. Nice.
So yeah, Sticks to Snakes adds a bit of damage here. It's pretty neat to see him just run around.
Oh, that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's actually energy.
Yeah, War Machine tosses a lot of bottles of oil around, and this is actually a really obnoxious boss just because what you have to do is keep clearing out the goblins that are pushing it, and without anything to push it, it just sits there and lets you hit it, so.
Right. Ideally, he can actually never have the boss attack. He can just kind of stay crouched and kind of keep following him and pounding away. But he got hit by the bottle, which put a bit of a damper on those plans.
Yeah. One of the goblins get loose, and he can cast any kinds of attack, and the worst one is the bottle. So, this happens.
One of the things to note is that the cleric is one of the characters that gets several levels up, and we actually need that for recharging spells. So we kind of abuse that. That's part of the run. And since we're on the river here, Hugo's actually memorized it to the point where he will get no encounters. So if we have a... Never mind.
We have an opportunity to collect some money here.
Yeah.
Yes, money collection is fantastic.
It's very useful because you can use that to buy health. This game doesn't give you full health refills very often, so you get partial health refills. You can see he has quite a bit more health now than he did, but it's pretty rare for it to just entirely refill it.
Donation comments would work now.
Yeah, we have a few seconds.
Okay. Whatever.
The waterfall actually wanted to give us some information about the ultimate sword, which is useless since we're a cleric. We don't use swords.
Actually can't use swords. You're not allowed to pick up anything that's considered a bladed weapon as the cleric.
Yeah, it's part of the vault.
He's a holy man.
Yep.
The ultimate magic, which we can't use unless we're in a 4-player game, so don't even need to know about that. And then the last one is about the final boss, and I hope Hugo knows what he's doing with that.
Now, he uses a spell right here. One thing that's interesting about spells is that while they're playing, you're kind of invincible. So things like terrain that's falling down and would normally hit you in the head won't while you're using magic, which is pretty useful.
So one thing to note here is the first use of throwing hammers. We'll use that a little bit throughout the run. It actually confuses the enemy as soon as it hits him and does a little bit of damage. It helps him set up to get a better scorpion kill, but in the end, Scorpion can really do whatever he wants. Right now, he's behaving. Let's hope that holds true.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
And another small thing to note, as you notice, he killed the other random mobs, but other enemies spawn. That's one of the reasons we completely ignore the mobs, because they will not go away. They'll just keep coming.
This man Scorpion can do some very, very bad things, so that was a very nice fight.
Yeah, it's pretty unusual for him to just kind of.
Dwarves may find some treasure. Okay, you got anything else?
Oh, sorry.
Don't touch me. Okay.
Sorry
about that.
We have trying to say hello.
We have $20 from Xeon. Hugo4Fun is my brother, and I'm cheering him on very hard from here in Brazil. Kill cancer, animals, and get hype!
Hype.
So we got rented an airship. Cool. I guess we're not going to get the deposit back on that.
Yeah, nothing's ever gone wrong in an airship on a video game.
Nope.
So we're just letting the elves come to us, and we're going to hop over a couple fireballs. So if there's one or two more donations, we actually have time before the boss.
We have $185 from FaZe, Brent, and I'm not going to pronounce this, Gilmray. Hey Hugo, been waiting for D&D run for a while. This is from your friends. Have a good run. Love and hugs. FaZe, Brent, Gilmray. Also, Charmander should be named John Cena.
So this is the second use of hammers. We actually bought a full complement in the shop to get about a bar and a half off of the Harpy, but he's doing a very good job of actually air comboing the Harpy, which you could do to be slightly faster, but the hammer is a more consistent setup, because you just almost always get that bar and a half off.
Yeah, and Harpy, once she's loose, is about as annoying as any bird in a video game has ever been.
Yep.
Yeah.
Birds are jerks.
Now, one thing interesting about Harpy is she can do like a zero-frame get-up reversal thing. And so, in order to counteract this, he likes to do an uppercut while she's on the ground in such a way that it kind of counters it.
So we got a small peek at the final castle just because we beat the Harpy so fast. It's one of the nice little perks of the game.
That was the Super Joy of Cleric. Instead of doing a regular get-off-me move, he just instantly kills undead.
Except the one that just decided to leave. You did.
Right.
The game can only count up to 3, sorry.
Very nice.
So we can fully
Nice job.
theoretically kill him, but once he gets to a certain point, he's going to start and
He's got
do
plot
this.
armor.
He's going to get up and do this. Yeah, plot armor.
Got some pretty extreme plot.
So yeah, that was a pretty perfect ground pound infinite, because usually he gets up at least once and you have to knock him down, but he didn't get up once there, so that was totally on point.
So awesomely enough, his brother just decided to show up and show him what it's for, not say a word to us, and the stage ends. Okay.
Yep.
And no healing too. Thanks for wrecking our ship, buddy.
Bunch of characters that we're never going to be seeing in this run.
Yep. But the airship crashed, so now we feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took a nice little
Took a nap while it was crashing.
And yeah, I guess it must have been the dwarf that was doing the flying that we obviously don't have with us.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you watch the run from about 2 years back, this level is going to be new for you. He chooses this over, let's see,
Forced to despair.
Forced to
Beholder.
despair
Right,
with the
force.
beholder.
Mostly just because the boss fight in this is more manageable in one player for Cleric.
Yeah, Forced to Despair can be kind of fun. We've gone into it by accident a few times in practice runs, and it's definitely disparaging in single player, to say the least.
I hate these dogs' hitbox.
Yeah, Hellhounds, when they're just running, they have an active hitbox during the entire run.
Many bad puppies.
Yeah, so it's important to kind of play it safe around them. Sometimes they'll just run back and forth continuously for long periods of time.
Like that.
Puppy.
Okay. Just to make sure.
So one benefit to playing Cleric is that he does have some healing spells, so he has a lot more survivability than a lot of characters would.
Yeah, a little more
And,
safety.
Unlike a lot of arcade beat-em-ups, you don't have any spare lives in this game, you just have the 1 health bar.
Yep. So this is the Ogre Brother.
Okay, come here.
Shh, that's a secret. We don't want to see the other one.
Come on here.
So we're setting up something for the ogre.
Yeah, and he
actually.
does not want him to be on the side of the screen. If he's not somewhere in the middle, then this strategy becomes impossible.
Over here.
And
Thank you.
Bad ogre. There we go.
Oh no.
getting the random standing OTG is
That's horrible.
Okay, so obviously he was trying to combo the ogre to death. Once you get past a certain point, he won't call his brother, but unfortunately we let him up too soon.
Yeah, that wasn't really his fault. It's just that stand up is really annoying.
yeah. No.
And you'll notice a lot of times during fights he'll slide to pick stuff up. That's actually because the attack and the pickup button are the same. So many times you can accidentally read a statue or pick up
There's again.
like 10 gold coins when you want to hit a boss that's right in front of you.
10 gold coins,
One
you
more.
get a single
Yep, there it
silver
is.
coin.
Oh, there we
Single
go. There we
silver,
go.
yeah. This is what we wanted to see.
Yeah, yeah.
Just on the
Good recover, good recover. We also got our first glimpse of continual lights, which is a move that you can use to stun your enemies, including bosses. It's very nice. You'll likely see it again later.
Not sure.
What do you guys say?
The dash as a thief is useful. Okay, what
Hey.
else you got to say?
Hello. Say something.
Just
That's
a couple
chipped
winks.
yes.
Oh, she's not for
Okay,
sale.
yeah,
Oh, uh-oh, wrong message. Sorry.
I love the uncomfortable eyes there.
Yeah, just get out.
I'll just leave now. I'm sorry.
So now we're seeing Sin, who is actually the final boss, but gotta fight the Manticore first.
We're actually conserving spells and specifically items because we won't have a chance to buy items for quite a while. So that's why Manticore is just basically wake-up combos. We're keeping him on the ground.
It's not so much conserving spells as it is that he can't cast them right now. He has been recharged.
Yeah, I just get the refill after this death. This super death.
Yeah, so routing around like the shops and where you get spell refreshes back is really important because a lot of bosses, if you just went Hail Mary for that one boss and saved all of your resources just for it, you could do it faster, but you would lose a lot more time on the other boss fights that you didn't have any resources left for.
Yeah, there's very few characters that can just kind of go nuts. And it really depends on the character. So you have to take specific paths. That's why we're doing a no deaths category. Actually, any percent you will intentionally take deaths so you could get other characters to take optional paths that are shorter.
For what it's worth, as far as like the D&D community in whole, we typically don't acknowledge like intentional death in this particular game.
Okay. So we get a nice couple of rooms here where they just decided, don't worry, you don't have to do anything, just survive. So we just run right through 3 rooms in a row. It's a nice
There are a
refresher.
lot of branching paths and opportunities that you can go through that you don't really take in a speed run because you're trying to beat the game quickly.
So he just grabbed a key real quick to pick up a lightning ring. It's a good backup strat. We might see it. We haven't seen it a lot in practice, so we'll see how the run goes.
So now we're fighting the Lich, who's the final boss of the first game
Yeah.
in the D&D arcade series.
Yeah, you'll notice he actually picked up a yellow potion that gave him haste, which increases attack for a time. Attack speed, sorry.
So by kind of camping out in the bottom depth, or the bottom of the screen as far as the depth axis, it avoids a lot of the Lich's actions. And by crouching, it kind of confuses one of his spells that's supposed to summon some minions.
Okay, it's fine.
As long as he's all the way to the bottom, like he said, he can dodge every meteor. They just can't spawn there. The only thing we're really worried about is him summoning fire pillars, which he did not do.
But, I mean, we're not allowed to fight these people now, so we're just going to get put to sleep, and then they're going to just leave us alone.
Apparently
They're
we
not
weren't
gonna-
paying enough attention.
Yeah. They're not concerned with us right now.
I like how you're only level 16. Don't worry about it. We'll just send another random pack of mobs.
He got that fire ring much earlier in the game, was saving specifically for this spot, as is with the bottle of the free. One thing that's really big in this game is menu management, kind of knowing where you are on the menu so that when you quickly get to it, you can start attacking properly. Yeah, 'cause-
Especially with the spell users, because there's multiple layers of menu that you have to move through. And it keeps track in each layer where you are in that layer, so
Right.
your menus can just be wherever you left them. So Displacer Beast is a very tricky fight. He creates a copy of himself, which is pretty easy to pick out since it doesn't have a shadow, but it still just creates some visual noise, and also there's just a lot of goblins around.
Yeah, the big issue with this is actually the goblins. Like, you could do like a ground pound infinite thing on this, but the goblins are just going to hit you out every time.
Yeah, they might smack you. They might throw a fire pot where you're going to land. That's the problem. I actually saw it earlier in practice. Hopefully we won't see it here.
So one trick he did do there was by getting behind the Displacer Beast as it's standing up. If Displacer Beast isn't facing you, his next action will always be to turn and face you. So if you can create enough space to just stay behind him, he'll just turn around and then you can smack him while he's standing. But again, the goblins don't give you a lot of opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
He's trying to pepper in a little bit of the hammers to get some confusion so that he can get closer to the Displacer Beast.
Very nice.
Yes.
It's a very good fight.
Yeah.
Considering-
Any fight where you survive is pretty good against this boss.
Yeah.
It's actually like that.
The gnome, he wants some help.
Yeah, no one wants help, but we don't want any of that.
No,
We're not
no,
here
there,
for
there is
help.
no route where you go for those gnomes.
The gnome village path is very, very long.
Yeah, you notice that he managed through the text there, but during that fight he picked up something called the Skin of Displacer Beast, which is kind of lucky. You can get the skin or you can get the eye.
You can get both.
Oh, you could get both too. But yeah, so we got the skin, which is good because when you talk to that shopkeep, he changes the skin into the Cloak of Displacement, I believe it's called. Which,
I think it's Displacer Cloak.
no, Displacer Cloak, whatever. I mean, it makes you immune to projectile attacks, which is nice.
I think it actually just lowers it when I was reading the text box earlier.
Yeah, the game
That's,
says
that's
it's
what it claims, but
Yeah.
projectiles won't even hit you. They
Yeah.
will not impact you at all. They would just phase straight through you.
Right. And that part, what he was actually looking for was whenever that little knoll, or was it a knoll? Is that what they're called?
Goblin.
Was it
No,
a goblin?
those
That
are
wasn't
the
a goblin,
goblins.
no.
Those are the gnolls, I believe.
I thought the knolls were bigger. Well, whatever that
Or,
thing.
yeah, the gnolls are the kobolds. That's
Kobold, thank you.
Kobolds, thank
But
you.
yeah, whenever the kobold destroys,
killed them.
Yeah, destroys the sign, he either nothing shows up or like a little piece of wood shows up. If a little piece of wood shows up, it'll have kind of an arrow telling you the direction to go, which is always the opposite of the direction that the kobold is going. If nothing shows up, then you follow the kobold.
We just fell like 100 stories. Don't worry about that.
Yep.
Supposedly there was
Clerics, no feather fall, I guess.
the shopkeep that we actually ignored gave us
Yeah.
a levitation stone, and that's what
a really
saved
hard
us
part of
from
the
breaking
run.
our ankles.
Yeah, so he had a choice there between the lava
Nice.
level. Ooh, nice. the
Power gauntlets. These will increase his damage
That's
as
o-
long as he doesn't take more than 2 to 3 hits. It depends sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
it is actually just random. They can break in a single hit.
Oh, yeah.
All of the breakable inventory items in this game, every single time you get hit, there's just a chance that they break.
Yeah,
and
trust
the
me.
chance is pretty high.
Oh yeah, but so he also picked up the fire rod, which increases your fire attack power. I'm pretty sure that was meant to be for like spells, like fireball or whatever. But it also works with large burning oils, which is
We like them.
You're
yeah.
going to be seeing a bit of them.
Just
Yeah.
a few. Maybe 9 or less. Not that many.
Oh, the worst luck possible. Okay.
Yeah, Frost Salamander can do whatever he wants at the start of the fight, and jumping forward is
Okay.
pretty
Oh,
disastrous.
Okay.
back.
Oh, what? Oh, wow.
Frost
Okay.
Salamander is a strong contender for hardest boss in this game, to be perfectly honest.
He is going in hard right now, yeah.
Along with the gargoyle being there, just all of his hitboxes are really deceptive and large.
Yeah, the
be safe
gargoyle
here.
does not add any help, and neither cleric would actually have a spell to damage him because he only takes damage from spells. It's a intense fight, so you have this mob that you cannot deal
We
with,
also love the hitbox.
and then getting frozen over and over again if you accidentally get hit by the boss.
Could you fall to the ground, please? Okay, no. Okay, I got it. Go far.
Yeah, fortunately, being the cleric, he has a lot of durability to use in this fight.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons he chose M as his name, actually. He picked up an extra defense item from naming his character that way. That's one of the reasons it wasn't an incentive, unfortunately. This would have been the first perfect use of large bottle oils, but we'll see them again later. And when you see them, you will be surprised.
He survived.
That was a very good clutch fight.
All right, so that was like the worst that a fight with this boss could ever possibly go. At the very beginning of the fight, he jumped up and attacked. There's like 4 things he can do, and that is the absolute last thing that you want him to do. And usually what happens is you hit him with a large burning oil, he falls, and then you hit him with another large burning oil, and another one.
I believe that someday a man will appear, he'll defeat the monsters, okay. He'll ride up to me on a white horse and stretch out his hand.
On
Okay.
a white house.
Master?
Then he will kiss me.
And what's the master?
What's the master?
That's the master.
Am I boring you? This game has some strong
Yeah.
text.
So normally you hit the salamander with the large burning oil, and then you hit him with another one, and another one, and another one, and then he dies. That's it. It's a very fast fight, but he did not cooperate.
Yeah,
said
I've
no.
actually not seen someone successfully beat Frost Salamander when the large burning oil strat fails.
Let's keep better patterns.
So Talarian has a bit too much health to just do anything specific straight up.
Well, you could do that, but
Do a little bit of working him over.
Just
And
gotta tenderize him.
we're gonna try and burn him up again. We're gonna try and turn him into something cookable.
I knew that.
Yeah.
okay.
Fortunately, Talarian tends to stay on the ground a bit longer than the Frost Salamander.
Oh, damn.
He is not playing along today. This is
Yeah, and he
fairly
does cast
upsetting.
haste, which complicates things significantly. Haste also affects how much hit stun he takes, so a lot of strategies become just impossible once he's hasted.
there. We go.
That not being one of
This is what we wanted to show you. These bosses are just saying no today, unfortunately.
Now that was more just a problem of placement. He needed to be further away. Like when he first did the burning oil, his positioning was off.
Yeah, each of the 3 pillars of the large burning oil is a separate hit,
Yeah.
which is why positioning is extremely important.
Ezer Horden.
Ezer Horden.
This
so
guy.
This
Energy
boss
Horde.
ignores a lot of the rules to how the game normally works. And sometimes he'll just eat you.
Yeah, there's no real skill involved with this particular boss. It's just kind of hope.
So again, the advantage of being cleric is that
Fight again.
Yeah, Cleric does make 1cc much more consistent just because he can do that whenever the bosses don't cooperate. A lot of other characters kind of have to roll with it.
yeah.
Yeah, that is the one nice thing about just picking up this game, no matter what console you buy it on.
There we go.
The versions will just allow you to keep plunking in continues over and over again. So no matter how bad you are, you can make it through to the end.
Well,
and just
no,
enjoy the game.
no, not
least
really.
to practice.
There is actually a lot more to it.
I've managed to make it through.
But I mean, the healing does help, but it's not infallible.
He's a quiet guy.
Yeah, he's one of the few shopkeepers that has nothing to say.
The Battle Royal, this is actually a pretty interesting portion.
Well, he is in the enemy castle and just selling us stuff. So
Yeah, the 2 goblins that we meet are pretty interesting in themselves, but the other one has something to say. He's very good with English.
So yeah, Shadow Elves are not.
So yeah, he's positioning himself.
They don't have really a great approach. They kind of just assume you're going to run away from them scared, but when you don't do that, they just kind of miss.
Okay, I'll leave it there.
So we're taking a dog for a walk. Actually, a pair of them today.
Looks over.
Now, the interesting thing to look at with this stage, for one thing, he does the spells while they're kind of in the background running around, because they'll still be in the background running around as he does the spell, so, you know, it's a good way to not waste time. But another thing is it actually does influence their placement, depending on when you push it. So because he did the magic at that particular point, they came in on one side all grouped up together.
Yeah, they all reach the point where they would be stopped by the spell casting animation.
And then right here, we kind of want to save an elf. I think Murph understands this a little bit better than I do, so I'll let him explain it.
So all of these fights are on a timer. You can like continue defeating enemies forever, or well, not forever, but for a long time, and you'll get more points and experience. But for a speed run, there's no way to actually accelerate the process of getting through this. You just have to wait until you reach the point where the fight ends. So by just keeping a low number of enemies alive, you just kind of force the timers to wait out with one enemy instead of spawning new sets of enemies.
So we get a nice brisk walk up to the top left alone now.
Yeah, and once you finish the last fight, how you don't have to progress, you can go backwards a little bit even. So yeah, this is a big castle that you can explore, and there's lots of fun things to find and all kinds of very interesting traps, but we don't want anything to do with those. We're just going to fight this guy.
Oh yeah,
So-
Dark Warrior number 2,
Yeah, Dark Warrior 2.
to be specific.
Yeah.
Since we took that nice raft ride, we got to avoid Dark
Oh.
Warrior 1, who's actually fairly simple, but it's a much longer stage because we have to
Yes,
fight
thank
a lot
you.
of things.
Today is the day of the worst patterns.
Yeah. Dark Warrior, you can hit with large burning oils, but at certain health triggers, he just stands up no matter what. So
Yeah,
you
and when he
can't-
stands up, the worst attack he can do is the jumping one because he has iframes.
Yeah, so there's not a completely definite way to fight it, but hammers do a lot of damage. And
Yeah.
that attack canceling.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freedom to cancel attacks into other attacks, and if you do it right and cancel into blocks, you can kind of just do silly poses for no reason.
What do we got with this guy? Are you sure no one has so much as even scratched that sin? Really? Sin's fiery breath can incinerate anything in a blink. Okay, I won't try and step you. Okay? Good luck.
Okay.
So this boss is a real pain depending on the character. No, it's just a pain in general, but Cleric at least does have a spell called Continual Light that makes it a little more manageable.
So Manticore and the Black Dragon here are not important. They're just kind of in the way. They do have health bars, but they have significantly more health than Magma. So
As you, yeah, because
you
health
can,
is very low.
yeah, Continual Light is extremely useful in just pinning down the enemies that you're not interested in.
Specifically with this fight, because the problem... Okay.
Nice.
That's-
holy word.
Holy word.
It's really funny when you have Nagpa off screen and it just hits the Black Dragon and the Manicore, and you're like, wait, what? Why did that kill Nagpa?
All right. So we've got this dragon.
This is the final boss, by the way. So we'll let you know when time is. But just keep ready.
So he needs the dragon to take a specific action to set up what he wants to do here.
Yeah, we're waiting for meteorites, which is oddly enough not a spell in this case, which it lets us guard with spells like we were mentioning earlier, so that we won't take damage from the meteors and hopefully be able to set up.
With
Thank you
bad
for
luck,
centering.
the meteors will land on your head as the spell is ending.
No, too late.
You're on bottle instead of large point.
Yeah. So I'm thankful I'm too late.
That's many management in play there.
This is one of the most brutal fights with
Yeah,
many
yeah.
advantage.
Just one bar. Thank you.
This is where the difference in the clerics comes in. We could use Earthquake, which has a much longer cast, and be completely safe from the meteorites. Unfortunately, we don't have that spell, so we're trying to have to use buff spells and cure spells to dodge the rocks, which doesn't last quite as long.
Too late. Over here. Over here.
got it.
No, he moved.
Nah.
Ah, right.
So it
Okay,
looks like
back
he's
up
getting
strat.
hit by all that, but she's not. All right, back up strats. Let's go.
Yeah, don't forget the ring you got.
Ah.
He has
So,
enough damage for
un-
the...
What we were looking for is at the end of that attack, she'll be on the ground for 1 frame and pretty much 1 frame only, and that's when we can hit her with the large burning oils. But there's even on top of that,
you
there's a
want to
caveat. We have to hit her with 2 of the flame pillars as well to be able to kill her. So we could do a quick.
Nice!
There we go. Lightning bolt back up.
He-
This is what the ring was for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's not supposed to do this much damage either.
Time.
Fine.
Large burning rolls are good in this game, I swear.
The large burning oils were. Okay, she's got a nice little shave cut there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mystara
I
did
guess
not
that's
want
lethal.
Mystara did not want you to have any RNG today.
Nah.
Yeah.
No, you lived through it once you see it. Good job.
Nice.
But yeah, what he did there, you might remember from the co-op run about 2 years back, we did a strat where I did 3 continual lights and then the elf did lightning. So basically you have to hit 3 times and then do lightning. You have to time it really well. It's much trickier if you're just doing it alone because you have to get the 3 hits and then do the lightning. Oftentimes, you do 3 hits and you think you're good, but no, you didn't time that lightning properly. So what he did was actually the harder strat in terms of getting the quick kill on Sin. Like the easier one would be to get the large burning oils off. So good job there.
A little shout out to the Brazilian speedrunning community. Hey guys. And a little shout out to the judging Magic Brazilian community because they said I would not want to see this because if I didn't do the shout out. So take this. And thank you guys so much for letting me play and keep having fun with the marathon. Thank you.
All right. That was Dungeons & Dragons Shadow over Mystara.